Hello, this is John Burrows again. I'm going to continue with deleted scenes from my autobiography, 7 Years to Life. This deleted scene is called The Stop Sign. I want to say before I begin that we all live lives and we all have different things. Some of those we're proud of, some of those we're not. This was definitely different. I'm not saying I'm necessarily proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it at the same time. So anyway, here it is. It'll probably be pretty quick. I've told you previously about two friends of mine, Robbie A. and Bob B. And you've heard about them in others in the chapter that I know of, the things we do for fun in my life story. And in this particular case, we were kind of the Three Musketeers of LSD, and we were hanging out at the end of Parrot Drive where it meets Crystal Springs Road, and I can't remember what we were doing. I know Bob worked at a pizza parlor right down there, right next to a convenience store. We might have been playing Yahtzee in the convenience store, or we might have been in the pizza parlor, and Bob would always provide us with free pizza. Anyway, I drove down there with my Cuda, and I think we were playing Yahtzee at the convenience store, but they would remember better than I do. So we decided that we were going to take off, and we got in the car, and Bob and Robbie sat in the back seat because we had a big old hookah, with the tentacles and all that stuff. And we decided to drive down Crystal Springs Road because, well, it was a really scenic drive. And we had some pot in the car and whatever. But anyway, they were in the back seat because of having the hookup in the front seat made it kind of awkward. So as we began our trek down the Crystal Springs Road, about 20 feet into the drive, you hit a stop sign. Well, I did not make a complete stop by any means at that sign. So I continued down the road, and then all of a sudden I looked in my rearview mirror, and there were the flashing lights, and the cop was following us. And so I just looked over at those guys, and I pulled off the road, and the cop pulled in front of me, and I immediately got out of my car, which you don't do. But for some reason, he didn't react to it. So he came walking over to the car, and this is another version of how lucky we can be sometimes, but he came walking over to the car and said, what's going on? And I had pulled off on the shoulder, kicking up dust and everything, and he goes, what's going on? Do we have a few potheads here or faggots? And I just looked at him, and I said, can you tell me what I'm being pulled over for? I think I have an idea. And he goes, yeah, you ran that stop sign back there. So, I mean, you got to understand, they were paranoid in the back seat, and this was just a quick thinking action that made the guy, I think, a little taken aback. There was a lot of controversy going on back then about hippies and cops and whatever. But he had never told me to get back in the car, so I'm standing out there talking. I said, okay, I ran the stop sign, so where do we go from here? I mean, I guess you're going to write me a ticket, and why don't you do that, and let's get that over with, and write me the ticket, and you be on your way, and I'll be on our way, I mean, I don't understand. And he goes, oh, so you're a wise guy, huh? I said, no, I'm not a wise guy. If I ran a stop sign, that's what you're pulling me over for. I'm glad to admit that I did. I'm not going to court about it. I'll pay the ticket, whatever the fine says. So why don't you do your job, and you can tell me how I should be more careful and more aware, and I'll head on down the road. Well, make a long story short, he more or less agreed to that. Now, these guys were in the back seat. They had stashed the weed. There's a hookah sitting on the floor in the back seat. And then the tentacles, I guess, are between Robbie and Bob somehow, and they're able to keep it together. I guess he thought we might have been gay because Robbie and Bob were in the back seat. I don't know. But so the stop sign was run, and I found out about the story. It was one that skipped my memory, and Robbie A. reminded me of it and told me some of the details, and a lot of it came flooding back to life. So in the end, we ran a stop sign. We had a lot of pot in the car, a hookah, two guys sitting in the back, one guy sitting in the front. I hop out of the car and just immediately figure if I take control of the situation rather than let the cop do it, I'm gonna hold him to what his duty is. And it worked. I mean, he basically said, all right, I'm gonna give you, I don't know, he called us something else, punks or something else like that. I'm gonna give you guys a ticket. Make sure you do pay it. If I see you in court, you'll lose. I said, don't worry, you won't see me in court. I really hope never to see you again. So thanks, and I'll take care of myself. Anyway, to end it, he was pulled out in front of us. And so I went back and sat in the car, and then he was sitting in his car. And Robbie and Bob looked at me and said, wow, they go, but don't leave. Don't let the cop leave first, And I can't remember if that's what we did. I think he did leave, and then we pulled off and went down our journey on Crystal Springs Road doing the speed limit and everything else. I was a little paranoid that he might turn around and hide somewhere and then get behind us. But anyway, we took Crystal Springs Road all the way down to El Camino Real, and he never did find us. So another lucky incident in my life. He never did come behind us. So that's the story of the stop sign. I know it sounds like something out of Twilight Zone, but my life's basically out of Twilight Zone. And I said my life is basically out of Twilight Zone. John Burrows signing off. Take a good look at it, and any comments would be welcome. Thanks.